They ain't gonna like this one. CM Punk was right about AEW. He destroyed the company in an hour, almost 2 hours, and he didn't even try. But AEW fans are so diehard and delusional that they won't even acknowledge that Punk was right. Tony Khan is not a boss, he is a friend. And that's why the company is doing so bad right now. The main goal of a business is to make money. AEW is doing the opposite. They're losing money. I'm not saying that to be mean. You don't believe me? Look it up. He's too busy trying to pay everybody and trying to make everybody happy, but you gotta realize that sometimes you gotta let people go. That's what it means to be a boss. You gotta do what's best for the business. Bosses aren't scared to take initiative, and they're not scared to confront people when things aren't going right. It's sad that CM Punk had to be the boss instead of Tony Khan. Tony should have had Jungle Boy under control. He said, "I quit, this company's a joke and you're a clown." Truer words have never been spoken. The second that he told Jungle Boy he didn't want him using real glass, and Jungle Boy said that he was going to do it anyway, he should have said, "You know what, you're fired, you're not going to do what you want around here, this is my company, that's a dumb move, get the fuck out of here." But instead, he tried to plead with him and tried to say, "No, Jack, please don't do it, we're going to have to ask Punk to, talk you out of this, somebody's going to have to talk you out of this." Like, no, man, fire his ass. He doesn't get to call the shots, he's an employee. That's what it means to be a boss. You got to put your foot down. Right now, you're walking on eggshells and you're tiptoeing around people in your own company. That's why people don't respect you. He needs to stop being their friend, and he needs to start being their boss. A friend, most of the time, is going to tell you what you want to hear and not what you need to hear. But a true friend is going to tell you what you need to hear. Tony's going to have to hire somebody who isn't a yes man and is going to put their foot down whenever people get out of line and just start firing people. We have too many people on this payroll that are sitting at home doing nothing. And they've just been collecting checks, like Jungle Boy and other people. He told us that these people were childish and that they act like little kids and don't know how to handle situations. And they're proving it right in front of our very eyes. When that situation happened at Brawl Out, all of those people should have been fired. That's not how you handle business. If you have a problem with somebody, you gotta go up to their face and tell them, or you just ignore them and keep it professional for work. You don't attack people, because now you just made everybody in this company look bad. That was a whole mess, and everybody should be ashamed of themselves, especially Tony Khan, because he didn't handle the situation. He just suspended people. Honestly, I wish Punk would have sued them for whatever happened. He should have sued them. And another thing about the Bucks, they're not even drawing a dime. But Tony has given these two goofballs some of the most power. They're EVPs of the company. EVPs. Every time they come out, they get no reaction or they get booed. People are literally turning off the TV whenever these two show up. And AEW fans are delusional, not realize that the product is dying right in front of their fucking eyes. People want to say, "Oh, but WWE nothing." AEW was wrong. WWE didn't fire people because they were mean-spirited. They fired people who weren't being used right. That's why those people went to AEW. WWE knew that they didn't have plans for those people, so they released them and let them go somewhere where they'll be utilized. It's wrong to keep somebody under a contract and not give them the release, which WWE has also done, and I'm gonna call them out for that. They've done that to Ali and many other people. CM Punk literally asked to be released, and he didn't get that release granted. And now look at what happened. That's all could have been avoided, because he literally said in an interview that he wanted to be released during Brawl Out. He said, "I'm done. This isn't working for me. Nobody here likes me. Let me just leave. It'll be better for everybody." And Tony was like, "Nah, man, you gotta stay." Tony is trying to make everybody happy, and you can't make everybody happy when it comes down to business. WWE never had people that were just sitting at home collecting a paycheck. All of the people that were released from WWE, they were on TV at least. Because I remember a lot of those people, they weren't, doing anything important, but they were still being on TV. Like all those people that were released, they would be fighting for like the 24/7 title, or they would be in like backstage segments doing whatever the fuck it was. The people at AEW that are collecting paychecks, they're literally not even on TV. They're nowhere to be found. People forgot that they even worked there. At least if you knew like Dana Brooke, when she got released, it was like, "Oh, well, we saw Dana fighting for the 24/7 titles," or she was in that karaoke competition or some shit. They were firing people that they didn't have really big plans for, but they were still using people. They didn't just have people getting money to do nothing. That's what AEW is doing, and that's why it's bad business. But you want to know who was conducting big business? CM Punk, because he's acting like a boss. And if you're wondering why am I going on these tangents about Tony Khan and people being this and people being that, it's because he said he's not a boss, he is a nice guy, which he's right about, which is what this whole video is about. Tony Khan is letting people walk all over him, and so I'm breaking it down. Even John Moxley, who loves AEW, said that there's so much drama in here and that is unbelievable. TNA hasn't even had this much drama. They've been around for 20 fucking years. I honestly do think that Tony Khan is the main reason behind all of this. He just doesn't know how to get this company under order. Not in the ring, or not outside of the ring. And you're gonna have to start with outside the ring because these people have huge egos and they don't even want to work inside the ring because of stuff that happened backstage. There's not 1 ounce of professionalism running through any of these people. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big CM Punk fan, but I'm gonna call him out. He was wrong for choking out Jungle Boy, and he was wrong for saying that he was gonna murder him. He said in his interview with Ariel, he was like, Jungle Boy was like, you know what, man? If you don't like that I'm gonna use gloves, do something about it. And he was like, dude, I'll fucking kill you. And he choked him out. If you were to make a list of everything wrong with AEW, we would literally be here all day. The amount of favoritism and scared that people won't like you if you do something that is against them or that they, are against is crazy. You are the boss. This should be your vision and what you want to have done. And if people won't fall in line, they should be the first ones out the door. I saw a post where somebody was like, CM Punk said, "Oh well, he's a nice guy, so the people have to force people to do things against the will like Vince McMahon." It's like, did people not watch the interview? He never said that Vince McMahon was what he was doing was okay. And not to mention, these are allegations, so we don't even know if the stuff is true or not. He even said it himself in the interview that he was glad that Vince was gone and that things are better without him, and that he probably wouldn't even be back in WWE if Vince was in charge. And what I realized, the reason why some of the fans act like this is because they're just like Tony, who was a fan himself. They're living in their own imaginary land and don't know how to conduct a business. People agreeing with Hangman Page are wrong. Hangman should have never went out there and went into business for himself and cut that promo that he did on Punk. That's not professional, and that's something that you would handle outside of the ring, not inside the ring on TV for millions of people to see. He's lucky that Punk was backstage and couldn't hear over all the cheering, because if he did, he would have destroyed him right then and there, and most likely the company, because it's just way too much stuff that's going on right now, and Tony not putting his foot down on people when he should have. But it's a good thing that he did do this interview, because, we already knew a lot of the stuff that he's saying, but it's good that he actually came out on the record and said it. But to those people who are diehard fans of AEW, this is not a video to celebrate the death of AEW and AEW getting buried and Tony Khan looking like a fool. The reason why people are making these videos like me right now and are calling AEW out is because we wanted to do better. Tony Khan, like Punk said, he's detrimental to the company. He's too busy worried about being a nice guy and trying to give everybody jobs and handouts and stuff and, trying to make peace. But if that's not going to happen, you got to put your foot down. You got to start firing people. You got to start being intimidating. You got to start looking like the boss. You can't just walk around here on eggshells for these people and let them do whatever they want. The inmates are running the asylum, and this is chaos. It's too chaotic. This can never happen in WWE because they have control over their superstars. They don't get to do what they want, and they have respect. They know that it's a privilege to be there, and that's like Punk said. This job is a privilege. You should never walk around here with your head held high, acting like you can, just go find somewhere else to work. You should want this place to look like it's the best, and that's why AEW was looking like the way it is, because they're treating this like this is like their playground instead of an actual serious business. People don't want to do things that are best for the business. They want to do things that are best for them. Punk put his pride aside, and he went out there and he still wrestled, for Joe and for the fans and for the people that he had respect for in the back. That situation that happened with Jungle Boy happened before his match with Joe. He literally could have just walked out if he wanted to. He probably would have had to, face some consequences for that, but, he could have done that. But he didn't do it because he had respect for the business. And that's what a lot of people these days lack. So with that being said, if I was Tony Khan, I would say this. Jungle Jackass, you're fired. Young Cucks, you're fired. Botchasaurus, you're fired. Sammy Guevara, you're fired. And anybody else who doesn't fall in line, you're fired. Get the fuck out of here. So, thanks for watching the video. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Take care and peace out.